Knowing yourself is more important than the debt repayment method. When you have debt, you hear about the best repayment methods and you get so bogged down with the best option, one that makes sense on paper, mathematically, that you miss the most important part of the decision-making process, choosing what works best for you. You look at the numbers, you look at what saves you most money economically, you pull out a spreadsheet or maybe a calculator on your phone and you add up the numbers and you go, okay, this is saving me most money, easy. And then you start your debt repayment. You go, you know what, I've got this. I'm going to smash this goal. I'm going to do it as soon as possible. And then a few months pass and you stop and then you start again and then you stop. It becomes a bit of a roller coaster financially and you wonder, what's going on? What am I not catching here? Is it just life getting in the way or is it something else? When you choose what only makes sense mathematically, you also break the most important rule of debt repayment, to keep going. You focus so much on the big picture and zoom out so much that the day-to-day reality simply escapes you. You forgot about what your life actually looks like, what your habits are. You don't reflect on how your life has been so far and where you'd like it to go in the future. You're just so focused on the debt repayment and not wasting more money that this debt is accumulating and it's costing you so much of your present. You know it's going to cost you so much more of your future that you feel drained. You feel fed up. And when you're ready to actually take some action, you make this common mistake and you go for the numbers. The alternative. Forget about the maths. Forget about the numbers. Shift the focus onto yourself. You are an expert on yourself. You are an expert on your life. It only comes with self-awareness. So if you lack that, I strongly suggest you do some work with a therapist, journal, self-reflect and gain insight into who you actually are. 95% of your behavior is subconscious, meaning you live on autopilot. This is not a matter of choice, this is not a matter of preference, it's a fact. Change that. You don't want to fool anybody, and the easiest person to fool in life is yourself. Here's how you do it when you deal with debt. You look at your life and face the reality of your life choices. This is not about victimizing or shaming. These simply never work. This is about setting yourself up for success. So you take a look back on your life so far and reflect on how you've achieved your goals. You forget about money for a second, because really money is a part of the whole equation. It's a part of how you live, how you function, how you emotionally respond to events in your life. And because 90% of problems can be solved with a piece of paper and a pen, take a piece of paper and write down all the goals you achieved. This could be anything from getting a qualification to organizing a big family event. Anything that took some work, some sacrifice, effort and creativity. It's your life. You decide what goes on your list. What felt rewarding? If you're a bit lost here, let me give you some hints. Your goal can be something as common as losing weight or finishing a very thick book. It could be something like creating and sustaining a healthy romantic relationship. All these will give you a very good idea of how you've been approaching challenges in your life. Next, pick about 5 or 6 of those goals, but make sure they're quite different, as you don't want to end up repeating yourself. Then think and write down exactly how you achieved each of those goals. What you're interested in here are your processes, your systems. If these sound too complicated, too technical, think in terms of routines and of the ways you carve out time to achieve those goals. What felt rewarding on your way? Write it all down. Take it out of your head. Pen and paper are the most amazing tools for developing self-awareness. So use them. See clearly what your life has been like so far. And this way, get an idea of who you are when it comes to long-term goals. Who you are when it comes to sacrifice, effort, a bit of struggle. Because maybe you're the kind of person who really wants to be healthy with their food, but come 5 o'clock on Friday starts browsing takeaway options and orders another portion of junk. The intentions are there, but the habit isn't. Intentions are not outcomes, and you're interested in outcomes. Maybe you're a person who always wanted to lose weight, that goes to a fitness class for 3 weeks and suddenly stops. Just cannot keep it up. And so you will need to treat yourself to something as a reward after each class. Maybe you're a person who can go for a walk only if there is a podcast to listen to, because you need to have something enjoyable running in the background. On the other end of the spectrum, on the other hand, you could be a person who signs up for a marathon and just goes for it and keeps their eyes on the horizon. You simply know that you're going to sustain the training and make sure that you make all the right choices and accommodations in your life so that you actually reach that goal and run that marathon. Go through all your past goals, write them all down, and notice all patterns. The patterns will tell you where you are in terms of your behavior. Behavior is everything. Behavior is something that you need to take a closer look at. This is similar to one of those psychology tests where you just add up your A, B, C's. So if it was A for a long-term goal, it was B for a short-term goal. There is no wrong or right answer here. This is simply how you operate. Add up your A's and your B's of the achieved goals in your life, and you'll have a good insight into your debt repayment method. The method. You choose the method that works for you. The hallmark of personal finance is this: it's personal. It's nothing to do with what your friend Patrick's doing or what your boss said would really be great for you to try. You are an expert on your problems, but we're not interested in being an expert on your problems. We are interested in being experts on solutions. And there are two main solutions to this problem, two debt repayment methods. The first one is the avalanche method. With this method, you focus on the highest interest debt, and then you make minimum payments to all of the other debts. This ensures that you don't accumulate more debt. Always make minimal payments. This is rule number 2. You pick this method when you are the long-term goal person, so the marathon runner, the thick book person, long course, long-term relationship type of person. If not, you go for the snowball method. Here you focus on the smallest debt first. You don't look at the interest, you just look at the smallest total debt amount first. And then you make the minimum payments to other debts. Again, the same rule number 2 applies here. We do not create more debt. What does it look like in practice? Let's say you have credit cards with 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25 interest on them. With the avalanche method, you would be focusing on the 25 interest one first because it's the highest interest. And with the snowball method, you would not pay any attention to the interest because you would look at the amount of debt. So even if you had, say, a credit card with £10,000 on it or dollars, and you had another credit card with £200 or dollars on it, you would go for the £200 or dollars debt first. Let me repeat, always choose what works for you based on your behavior. And always focus on one debt at a time. Trust me, this is how you're going to progress much quicker. You never split, you never spread yourself too thinly. So if you have, let's say, £250 to pay towards your debt, you pay all that money towards one debt of your choice. With the avalanche method, the one with the highest interest, and with the snowball method, the smallest debt. And then you track, you keep record, and you readjust. So once you've paid off one debt, you move on and you pay off your next debt. You keep the same method going unless something miraculous changes in your life and you suddenly change your behavior and you feel confident to change your method, then you go for that. Nothing is fixed. Everything is in a constant state of flux, of change, and so are your finances. So keep that in mind. Whatever happens in your life, just remember the rule number one of debt repayment is keep going. If you happen to choose your debt repayment method incorrectly, based on numbers, not your behavior, you're going to jump between starting, finishing, or you're going to stop altogether because you'll see that it just doesn't work for you. It doesn't work with your life. Your life will go on. You will have other expenses. You will have your preferred lifestyle. You will need to live and enjoy your life with that debt repayment. And so you need to choose the method that is going to actually work for you long term. Debt repayment is a long-term game. It is not going to take weeks. It will take months or likely even years. Make sure you pay attention to who you are, how you live first and foremost, and then choose your method. If one big win feels rewarding, you go for that avalanche method. If many small wins feel more rewarding, you go for the snowball. If the method works for you now, you will keep going, and keep going is your number one rule. Everything in life, every goal, every commitment needs to work for you right now, no matter how hard the journey gets. The moment you know you're in the same boat with your goal, you will keep going. Don't look at something that's going to work for you in the future. Don't look at the numbers that will be saved in the future. Look at which method will make sure you keep going. Because if you don't continue paying off your debt, there will be no such future. I know it's possible for you, and you know that I'm in your corner. I'm rooting for you. And no matter where you are on your debt-free journey or financial freedom journey, paying off debt is a crucial part of it. And I know you can do it. So make sure you know your behavior, how you approach goals. Don't fool yourself. There's nobody to impress here. This is between you and you. This is about your future. This is about your happiness. This is about your wealth. Choose well. If you need help paying off your debt, I created Debt Kicker, a self-paced course for you, and you can find it on my website, martalis.net. That's martalis.net. So go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.